Hey everyone, Magic Ben here. I got a new camera, so I thought I'd create a short unboxing video and a video to describe my search process and also some intro video to how to use the EOS RP. So I've studied a bit of this already, even though I'm unboxing it here for you. So Canon's EOS line, this is a full frame camera, and it's a mirrorless camera. So if you're in the market for a new camera, Canon has a dizzying array of models, and I'll walk you through that later in this video. So stay tuned. So the camera strap, the battery here. Okay, so just open here, charge the battery, and it's on charge, and it'll go green light when it's full. 1, 2, and this came with a 24 to 105 telephoto zoom lens, f4 to f7, and so here's the lens. So here's the lens. It has a focus control stabilizer, and that's where you attach the lens to the camera body. And then voila, here's the camera. Okay. So I'll go over some of these features. Again, this is just an intro. I'm not going to go into deep detail about these, but here it is. There's the camera. Okay, so stay tuned, and we'll go into some of the search process and more details about this camera and some of its menus. All right. Hello. So welcome to the continuation of this video. So I'll be talking a little bit about how I went through the choices I made in order to arrive at the Canon EOS RP. You saw the unboxing, and it took me quite a long time, over a span of months, to decide on the camera. There were just a lot of things to consider. And I wasn't necessarily in a rush to get a new camera. I had a camera before that works fine. But I figure it's time to get a camera. So I talked to lots of friends. I talked to a couple of professional photographers. I read a lot. I read some articles. I watched videos, and I suggest you probably should do your homework as well. It helps to just familiarize yourself with all the things and factors. But I can maybe help you out a little bit here. So there are many camera manufacturers out there. Canon is one of the largest, and the previous camera I had was a Nikon. It still works wonderfully, and I'm still going to use it as well. But that'll serve as my secondary camera now. Just so maybe something to consider. I wanted to go with a company that had a presence in the market, but you might be happy with some of the other companies as well. There are many companies, and maybe you have a history with some of these other companies, and that might factor into your decision. So one thing I think that's maybe important to consider is the image quality, image size, and if you see in the choices of places you look, and either in stores, like I went to B&H, during my search as well, held and picked up and tried cameras in New York City, and online, when you see a entry for a camera, one thing that to pay attention to is, do you want a full frame camera? So I might not be familiar with what that is, so I'll just spend a little bit of time describing it. So full frame camera is a type of digital single lens reflex camera, DSLR camera, that features an image sensor with dimensions equivalent to the traditional 35 millimeter film frame, which measures 36 millimeters by 24 millimeters. So the sensor size allows for superior image quality, enhanced low light performance, and a wider field of view compared to cameras with smaller sensors. The term full frame refers to the sensor size matching that of a 35 millimeter, which was a standard in photography for many decades. Full frame DSLRs are often preferred by professional photographers due to their ability to capture detailed images with a shallower depth of field and better performance in challenging light conditions. And some of those characteristics are that the sensor size of 36 millimeters by 24 millimeters matches the dimensions of a 35 millimeter film camera. The image quality offers superior image quality with better detail. It offers great low light performance conditions due to the larger pixels that capture more light. It provides a shallower depth of field, making it easier to isolate subjects from backgrounds. And allows the use of lenses designed for 35 millimeter film cameras, maintaining their intended focal length and field of view. So we see here just an example of the camera that I got, the EOS RP, in comparison to a DSLR, APS-C, EOS 80D, and a typical, say, smartphone. So mirrorless camera sensor sizes, the sensor size is of the surface area of say a Nikon, the CX is 116 square millimeters, and an Olympus or Sony NEX, Panasonic G1 to G series 224 square millimeters, and the APS-C 330 square millimeters, and a full frame 864 millimeters. So full frame camera is something to keep in mind, so you see them. Next, a consideration between a traditional DSLR and a mirrorless camera. So in a DSLR, light comes in through the lens, and there's a reflex mirror that is able to take through a pentaprism. You can see the image through a viewfinder, and then it hits the image sensor. The light from the lens hits the image sensor, and then that's how the camera takes a picture. In a mirrorless camera, the light goes directly to the image sensor, and there's no mirror built into the camera. So, and that in general has some pros and cons. So basically, it makes in theory, it can make the camera lighter and smaller and more compact, and the distance from lens to sensor can be shorter. So DSLRs are now a dying breed, with most manufacturers having switched focus to mirrorless technology. The prices come down quite a bit also in mirrorless cameras. I've been watching them for quite a while, longer than my recent intense search when I got serious about buying a camera. So, mirrorless cameras still that's really high-end ones can still be very expensive, but when I was first looking, I mean, they're several $1,000s. The DSLR camera still offers advantages, though. They often are much cheaper at the lower end, with better battery life in general, and come in with decades of previously released lenses to choose from. So pros are they have better battery life, decades worth of lenses, they're cheaper at the low end, and many prefer the optical viewfinder. And the cons are they're limited new releases, they're bulky and heavy, and a 5-axis IBIS are rare. Mirrorless cameras tend to have shorter battery lives because of the electronic viewfinder, screen combo, and won't necessarily please optical viewfinder purists. So that digital viewfinder that you still have this sort of peephole, submarine sort of peephole viewfinder, but but it's digital, so it helps to look dead on, straight on into it. And if you move your eye a little bit to the edge, it might not feel like you would with an optical viewfinder. However, they usually are more compact, better at the video, and with manufacturers prioritizing them, they have many more lenses available for them. I had no problem finding lenses. I came with one and I bought another one, and they're probably the best bet for most people. So pros, they're lighter and compact, better for video, faster shooting, 5-axis IBIS common. And cons are that they're poor in battery life and only have less development of lenses, and a lot of people do prefer optical viewfinders. So just note, there are there are a dizzying array of cameras and lots and lots and lots and lots of choices. There's so many different models of cameras, so it helps if you kind of know a manufacturer or brand that you're comfortable with. Maybe one of the friends I talked to was very happy with Sony and very comfortable with the Sony products. I love Nikon. I'm really happy with my Nikon, but I wanted to try Canon because a number of my professional friends had recommended that highly. So I wanted to try a Canon this time. So on the right here, you just see a quick comparison between mirrorless and DSLR. A DSLR camera uses this mirror basically, and that's and versus a camera that doesn't have a mirror, it's mirrorless. All smartphones, by the way, are mirrorless cameras. They don't have mirrors in them. And one difference again is the DSLR uses an optical viewfinder, whereas a mirrorless camera uses an electronic viewfinder. DSLRs are generally speaking heavier, and mirrorless are lighter. And although my DSLR is lighter than my mirrorless, just because the lens is bigger and heavier, and again the battery life is different. So okay. So once I decided on Canon, there's so many choices between. And I knew I wanted a mirrorless camera. I wasn't necessarily at first, I didn't have my mind settled on a full frame camera, but I knew I wanted a mirrorless camera. So among all those choices, there were and this is just an Amazon comparison. So this is just a cut and paste straight from an Amazon search. So, and you see a lot of them are pretty similar across the board. The LCDs, 3-inch LCD display, they all have telephoto capability, optical zoom, various shooting modes. Now, for some people, the shooting modes might be important. So, the camera that I went with on the left here, the Canon EOS RP, has different priorities. So if you want to give aperture priority, it'll compute the ISO and the shutter speed and everything. It'll do the rest basically. Or if you can give different priorities. You can also customize it. You can also give it shutter priority. So that might be important to you. Connectivity, they're all pretty much the same. They support Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. The RP also supports HDMI. I don't know why they didn't have that there. And video, so this camera is quite good at video. 4K UHD, and so it also can connect with USB-C and also send wirelessly to a PC. So I think, some things to consider are, what are you going to use a camera for, right? So for me, I travel around the world. I've been to 31 countries around the world, so traveling is a passion of mine and a hobby. So photography, if you travel a lot, photography will naturally go hand in hand with traveling, because you're just in so many amazing places that you want to capture the moment. I'm also our work's site photographer, so I do a lot of shoots for work, and I have, I've met the president of the company and a lot of dignitaries and our corporate dignitaries, let's say, and I'm my group is part of NSD, which is of which Bell Labs is also part of, and so there's a lot of Bell Labs events, and so there's like I've met Nobel Prize winners and stuff. It's really neat. So photography, and for me, I use it for work as well as travel. And you kind of need to think of what are you going to use a camera for? So that is going to play a big role in a decision to get what kind of camera you want to get. So for many people, I observe just their smartphone is sufficient, and smartphones are getting their camera capabilities are getting better and better with more advanced software. You can take some really good pictures with your smartphone, and I always have my smartphone as a supplemental camera as well. So anyway, lots of price points to consider. There are cameras that are aimed at all sorts of different kinds of things. If you're a video logger, for example, like I also have a YouTube channel, so that might be something also videos might be something important for you to consider. So there are cameras aimed at different different things that people want out of cameras. So whether you're just a beginner, you want an entry-level camera, or if you're an enthusiast or a professional. Okay, so here we are at the EOS RP. I just got it very recently, but I watched a lot of videos about it, and you can see a picture of my camera here. You can see the dial there that shows all the different kinds of settings. So the AV, aperture priority, M and manual, B, bulb. So if you're familiar with traditional photography, the bulb setting, you can hold down the shutter, and it'll keep the shutter open for as long as you hold down the shutter, which is the button, which is good for like fireworks. But anyway, there's lots of different kinds of settings as well. I got a 24 to 105 millimeter lens. I also got an ultra wide lens as well. I didn't show the picture here, but there's lots of lenses as well for the sorts of things you want to do. So telescopic, macro shooting, distance, panoramic, portrait shooting. So a lens is something you might want to look into when you get a camera. So the back of the camera, one thing that's neat about this camera is that it has a fold-out LCD screen and twistable as well. So for video logging, for example, you can twist the 3-inch screen all the way around, so you can see what you're shooting when you're in the front of the camera or in the back of the camera. And also you can hold the camera up high and turn the screen 45 degrees or 90 degrees so that you can hold it above your head and see what you're shooting as well. That's quite useful. So just another view of the RP. Couple of snapshots of some of the settings. So you can shoot in RAW mode. That's something to consider. It can capture very high resolution. 26.2 megapixel is the Canon EOS RP. It can shoot again in RAW mode, where none of the processing has been done. It's just the raw image. So you can, if you have Adobe Photoshop or Light Studio, you can edit and change the raw image how you like. It supports automatic ISO speed detection, or you can set it at ISO speed ranges from 100 to 40,000, or set a particular range. So the the lower the ISO, the higher the light environment, and vice versa. And I think one of the strengths of the Canon EOS, and maybe the whole EOS line, but the EOS RP, is that it has lots of interesting autofocus modes. So the AF operation between one-shot and servo, if you're familiar with the traditional DSLR cameras, if you kind of half press down on the shutter button, it'll autofocus. So and with servo, if you hold down on the button halfway and you move the camera around, it'll continuously try to focus. So that's a really nice feature. With eye detection autofocus, and continuous autofocus, there are other autofocus methods where it's continuously, even without pressing down on the button, it's autofocusing. I think that's kind of distracting, and for me, the the other two basic methods I think are fine. This is from Canon. Basically, it has also eye detection autofocus, and zone autofocus, and face and tracking priority autofocus, and expanded area autofocus with 8 surrounding points. So you can choose different kinds of different kinds of autofocus that if you know you're doing lots of portrait photography, the eye is the window to the soul, so maybe you want the eye detection autofocus, or maybe you're shooting a particular scene and you just want a simple zone autofocus. So there's lots of choices of autofocus, which I think is a strength of the camera. One of the great features of this camera, which is not on a lot of cameras, is the touch and drag autofocus setting. So here you can basically, when you enable it, I'm showing it here disabled, but when you enable it, you can basically drag your finger, and you can touch and drag. Makes it easy to move the focus points through the touchscreen LCD. And you simply point to the area of focus, and the camera will do the rest, displaying the chosen point in the viewfinder. You can also select whether you want the touch area to be left or right, and you can decide how you want, which area of the screen that you want the autofocus to shift on. And finally, if you're interested, you can download, if you have a Canon, you can go to this website or scan this image, and it has all of the Canon cameras. For me, I had to scroll down and type in my model, but it took me to a dedicated page for the EOS RP, and I put at the bottom here a direct link to it. So thank you for watching this video. If you're in the market for a camera, good luck. Write a comment, leave a comment, and there's pages and pages and pages and pages and tons of stuff that this would be a 3-hour video if I included all of my research. So I try to condense it down to a couple of key points, and so maybe a couple things to consider. And good luck with your search if you're getting in the market for a new camera, and let me know where you end up on, and lend me your thoughts. So otherwise, thank you for watching this video, and check out some of my other travelogue videos, and have a great day. Thanks.